I want to remind everyone, I want to remind you that in 5-6 weeks is Rosh Hashanah already. And I told the girls that were here in the program for the girls before, that when you say Rosh Hashanah in Israel, most people in their mind, you know what they think about? Oh, we're going to Tiberia to do shish kebab, we go on our yacht, on our boat, jet ski, we make a tent on the beach, barbecuing all day, you know, smoking, enjoying, playing backgammon, cards, beautiful holiday, right? Mm-hmm. But the truth is, a person has to recognize first what Rosh Hashanah is. How is he going to respect Rosh Hashanah? We have, if you take today on the street, you take 100 non-religious Jews in Israel. Here, the chance they know Rosh Hashanah is even lower. But in Israel, you ask them what Rosh Hashanah means. From 100 people, not even 5 will know that it's the Judgment Day. In Israel, in the Jewish state, they don't even know it's a Judgment Day. They see it doing shish kebab on Rosh Hashanah, driving their motorcycle, enjoying the holiday, not knowing their entire year from now until next Rosh Hashanah is being decided as they making those sins. I don't know. You understand how deep we sink? We sunk so deep that how are we coming out of there? And that's education, that's ignorance.
But even in America, the non-religious people keep Rosh Hashanah. They go to the temple for Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, but they go with a car maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but they go as a holiday. They also go on with Shabbos, some of them with a car, you know. I've been in a place, doesn't matter, there were hundreds of people coming on Shabbat, they have a valet parking over there. Yeah. You know, so
metal detector.
Look at the shul, the size of the shul is maybe, I don't know, 10 or 20 times bigger than this building. And this building is not a small building, you know. Packed with people across the street, valet parking. It wasn't here in New York, but it doesn't matter. I just give you an idea. I mean, people think they do mitzvah, they make a big sin. Understand? It's all begin with lack of education. There's not enough education. If you teach the people what they do, right away they give up most of the sins that they do. I'll give you an example. If a person knows clearly that every time his wife walks on the street not modest and other men look at her, he lose money. Immediately he lose money. For instance, he was supposed to make $1 million this year. Every day his wife walk on the street not modest. Every day he lose $1,000 because of it. Would you let her go like this? Education, no? Ignorance, right? Mm-hmm. Give you another example. In Israel, they made close to 2 million abortions from the beginning of Israel until today, 60 years, 3 generations. From the start of Israel, when they funded Israel as a state, until today, close to 2 million abortions.
Oh my God.
Now 2 million abortions, it's 1 million families, 3 generations. How many Jews we lost? 10, 15 million people. We should have had extra.
Oh.
Now we have 13.2 million Jews only in the world. That's it. So we could have been double just from avoiding this abortion. Now, one time, the anti-abortion movement wanted to make a survey in a hospital. So you know how it works in a hospital. They set a date for the abortion, and they make the woman sign all kinds of legal papers, you know, that she doesn't sue them later. So she signed. After everything is, they protect themselves 100%. They prepare her for the abortion. They give her the room in a hospital, and the doctor, she's waiting for a doctor. The doctor comes with a special knife. He begins, he doesn't know, today they have better equipment, but in the previous days, like 10, 20 years ago, they used to guess. They guess. It's like putting your hand from the window and trying to find something. So you have to go left, right, and that's how they chop the baby to pieces. And then eventually they take a vacuum cleaner and they suck the pieces out, and believe it or not, to make sure that they didn't leave parts inside, because the baby is very small. It's smaller than a roll of a bread. So they take all the pieces from the vacuum and put them together like Lego to see that they completed the entire body. If they're missing the head, now they're going to search for the head. You understand how it works? That's why some of the ladies have complications later. They cannot have children anymore. Today, they overcome most of their primitive problems because they have the equipment, they can see. But today, if you go on the internet, you can see an abortion live, how the baby is fighting against the knife. It's trying to protect himself. Mamash, like a person. You put a person inside a room and take a huge knife and chop him to pieces. Inside the womb, it's legal. A second after he came out, if you chop him to pieces, you go to the electric chair. What's the difference? Why is such hypocrite? You put a baby inside the garbage can, you're allowed to eat inside the garbage bag, you're allowed to eat him because you don't see him. What's the difference? Because he's inside under her skin, so he's not alive. Because the skin is covering him, it's baloney. But why I'm telling you all this? Because they made a preparation. She's ready for the abortion. They bought a special microphone. They put on her stomach, and she begins to hear on the speaker the pulse of the baby, ta-tak, 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 like this. So she said to the doctor, "What's this?" The doctor said, "That's the heartbeat of your baby." So what do you mean? Heartbeat? I thought it's no baby yet. So what do you mean? A third month. This was on the third month of the pregnancy. I thought there's no. What is it? He has a heartbeat? No. I'm not doing it. 33% of the girls gave up right away. That's called ignorance. It's not fair. Because most abortion is done, believe it or not, because of money.
Because they don't have enough money.
They have already 2-3 children, whatever they wanted to have, and they had an accident. Now they have a fourth one on the way. And people don't have emunah in Hashem. They don't understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu give every baby his budget comes with him. It doesn't comes out of the parents' pocket. The children, each one of them has his own parnasa. Can have 10 children. One of them is lucky. He's supposed to be a millionaire. You got lucky. Why? Because his money goes through you, and you give him as much as you want. The rest stays by you. You enjoy. Right? A son, how much he needs? He needs tuition, yeshiva, food, clothing, whatever he needs. What does he need? But God begins to give you a lot of money thanks to this baby. One day when he grow up, the millions after he leaves the house will go from your account to his account. You're not going to earn it anymore. It's going to go to him. From the moment he's born, the Gemara says, "Tinok ba velachmo beyado." The moment he's born, his bread is in his hand already. That's why to kill them for parnasa, it's such a stupid thing. At least you were right about your cause. You're wrong completely about your cause. Such murder, there's no way to justify a murder. No way. It's murder to begin with. But at least, let them be right on their cause. You understand? But they're wrong completely.
How about if you get a girl pregnant before the marriage? Then what?
So you marry her.
No, I'm saying not me. I'm saying the person.
Not you, I know.
No, I'm saying, just say they don't want to marry her.
He has to marry her.
What if he doesn't want to marry her?
So she has the baby. And he has obligation to feed his baby, to pay for him, for his expenses.
Yeah. But does he still get parnas up for that or not?
You have to understand.
Yeah.
You have to understand. The baby, if they made a baby by an accident, they made a mistake. You don't correct mistake with 1,000,000 times bigger mistake. You understand?
That's true, yeah.
And I'll give you an example. You stole $100 from a guy. The guy is bothering you on the phone. Give me the $100. Give me the $100. There's a way to shut him up. Just kill him. You gonna do it? That's what they do. They have an accident. They have a baby. So now the baby bothers them. So they go and make an abortion. Now they murder him. You understand? Let him grow up. By the way, I want to tell you something. The chief of the command of the Israeli army, I think 20 years ago, his name was Rafael Etan. Raful, that was his name, Raful. He was the Ramatkal, the head of the army, I think in the war when we had with Lebanon 20 years ago. So he wrote in his book that his mother went to the doctor and she needed to get like 4 lirot. It used to be lira in Israel, not shekel.
Okay.
So she asked the doctor how much the abortion is. He said 4 lirot. She said, I only got, after borrowing from all over, 2.5 lirot. Let's say 4,000 today. She only got 2,500, right? It's the same idea. So he said, I'm sorry, I have a price. There's no discount here. She said, but I don't have any more. But I can have the baby. Have mercy on me. He said, I'm sorry. You can't have the money. You'll have the baby. So he wrote in his book, for 1.5 lira, the Israeli state received a chief of command. Why? Because for lira and a half, he came to the wall. You understand?
Wow.
Yeah. And what was his end? Just a year ago, I was standing in the port of Ashdod, and the wind came and carried him from believe it or not, carry him from the cliff to the rock into the water. He fell. He was 70 years old, and he died. That was his end. All right. Anyway,
sorry, but the Gemara says that Hashem puts the soul in the baby on the 40th day.
On the 40th day, the conclusion of the creation is happening.
So can someone do an abortion on the 39th day?
Oh, now you're going into very sensitive things. According to the halakha, abortion is not allowed in any state, even on the first day. It's not allowed. But, and I give you the proof for it. The proof is the Zohar says that if a person wastes seed on purpose, not for mitzvah, not with his wife, just waste seed, for whatever reason, with Goya, by himself, whatever he does, every time he does it, is like murdering millions of people. Because each seed in the sperm, each one is a potential neshama, potential soul.
When you do make a woman pregnant, you only use this once.
We get to it. So now, the problem that we have is that, as he said, only one of them will become a baby. What about all the other millions? If it was done in a kosher way, they're going to be protecting him in his judgment day after he died, because it's mitzvah. If he's doing not for having a baby, not for mitzvah, and wasting seeds, each one of them is become a black angel that wait for him for his judgment day. That's why in Jerusalem, they don't let the sons enter the cemetery. They stop them right by the gate. They are not permitted to go in. Why? Because the Zohar says that those black angels run after the children of the deceased person, and they want to hurt them because they're very angry. Why you came to the world? You had a chance to be reincarnated, to have another chance, to correct your soul, and we didn't because of his sins. Understand? So this is all Kabbalah, deep Kabbalah stuff. By the way, there's a movie now on the internet. It's called Sealed of the Truth. You heard about it?
No.
Ask Yaakov. He will give you, I think, a copy. He has DVDs. There's one non-religious Israeli guy that died, clinical dead, and came back to life.
I saw this.
Yeah,
I heard
and he
about that.
described his trial.
But how do you know it's true though? It could be long.
You never know 100% if it's true.
They've gone to coma.
But you have to assume, they have to assume few things. One, he has to be not a good actor, the best actor in the world, to cry and to be shivering and to shake and to hold and to choke from tears. It's very difficult to fake such a thing. It doesn't mean it's 100%. It could be the best actor in the history, but it's very difficult. That's already lowered the chances by a lot. Because I couldn't fake such a thing. I couldn't just press a button and begin to cry and to shake and I don't know.
But do you remember the Zohar?
Wait. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
Second, if it will be one guy in a generation, no, but there's many. You know how many people like this you have?
Millions.
Millions of people in the world died and came back to life, and many of them reported that they had a trial.
But not as detailed as this guy.
Not as detailed as this guy.
This guy explains everything that happened in the Gemara.
Everything. Let's assume, even if we assume that he's adding some things to his story, we can't ignore it completely. You understand? Now I give you another answer. A normal, clever human being always go by the odds. Chances. Life is all game of numbers. Statistic. You heard about the word statistic? All the business in the world is being done based on statistic. For instance, you want to sell a product in a black area, you're going to choose a specific color. Black, red, black, whatever. Why? This is the color. Statistics show that more than 70% of the black people like this color. Then they have surveys, so they have statistics. They interview 1,000 white people, and they saw that 950 of them like that color, or like that product in this shape. So they go based on statistics. Statistics usually don't lie. It's a game of numbers. Understand? We have statistics. I know that every time I speak to 100 people, I have an approximate statistic how many of them eventually will become religious. So it's worked for me. I know that not all the 100 will become religious. I know. But I know that some of them will. And it's worth to do. Why? Because this one become 10, and their children become 100, and 100 become it as the best investment. Even if one in a lecture eventually become religious, it's the best investment you can make. What did you do? You drove 2 hours to get here. You spoke for another 2 hours. You drove 2 hours back. 6 hours of your time you spent in a 24-hour cycle. One Jew become religious that night, 1 out of 100, that was worth it for you. You know what? Better than this. The Zohar say if you ran 70 years in the entire world with suffering and tortures and anything you can think of, miserable life, and you made one Jew religion, it was a great success, your life. And the Zohar conclude, if the people would know the value of saving one soul, they would run after that person all their life, like they run after life. How a person run after life? If a person is sick, let's say he has $100 million, and he has cancer, lo alenu, and he just heard about a Chinese doctor in Hong Kong something, that just made up a special bottle for $99 million, but guaranteed to cure the cancer. Would it go to China and buy the bottle or no? There's one bottle for sale. Sure he will. Why? He's 40 years old, he want to live.
If he had 99
doesn't want to die. He buys another 30 years for 99 million, and he left with $1 million and start all over again. What's better, to be dead and rich, or to be average and to be alive?
Yeah, of course.
So what's the question here? He will live. So the idea is people run after life as much as they can. So the Zohar say they would run after a Jew to make him religious as an investment for themselves, not for him. Besides that, it's mitzvah for him, and you're saving him, and all kind, and you're making Hashem happy. Forget all these things. For your own benefit, it's the best investment you can make. The best. If Bill Gates would open a company and offer you to be his partner, wouldn't you beg him to take your money? Millions of people will call him, beg him, take our money. Let us invest with you. Why? This guy knows what he's doing. Everybody is going to do business with. He's going to make money. We're safe. He's not going to steal from me. He has billions. He's going to steal from me. I gave him $1 million. He's going to steal it from me. He has trillions, billions, whatever he has. He needs to. You understand? Why would I invest with an anonymous guy when I can invest by him? That's the idea. This is how it works. The Rambam starts his book.
You said about the black angels. If you do teshuvah, these black angels still exist?
If you do teshuvah, no, you erase them.
Really?
Yes, if you do teshuvah, but you know the teshuvah for that is the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
There are a few things that is very hard to correct. Very hard to correct. In general, every sin that the Torah says about it karet, that the soul gets cut out, every one of the sins is the hardest one to correct. As one level higher than this, it's called Chilul Hashem. That it's even harder to correct it. You embarrass the name of Hashem. You embarrass the beauty of the Torah in the eyes of the Goyim, in the eyes of the non-religious. They say, look at these religious people. They steal, they cheat, they lie, they curse. Look how they dress. They call themselves religious. You understand? I give you an example of Chilul Hashem. I give you an example. You go on a bus. As a religious person, you go on a bus. And you don't want a non-religious person to sit next to you. You don't want. So what do? You take off your hat and you put it on a chair next to you. And now one guy gets up, women, guys, old people, they're all embarrassed. You know how it is in the bus. Not everybody is coming and say, hey, move your hat, I want to sit. Some people are embarrassed to start. Everyone is looking at me. So the people are standing for half an hour in a hot day because you put your hat next to it. But all the entire bus cursing you in their heart. Look at this religious guy. Look at them. They're so ugly. They behave so bad. That's all they're thinking about for half an hour. And this is the worst Chilul Hashem you can think of. So what's the punishment for Chilul Hashem? These are the categories. Some sins you can erase just by the day you stop. You regret, you make vidui, God forgive you. Some sins, no, it's not enough. You make vidui, you regret, you stop, it's very nice. You need to wait for the first Yom Kippur. Comes Yom Kippur, erase it. Some sins, this is the karet, all the karet now, Yom Kippur cannot erase fully. It's still pending after Yom Kippur. Even after 5 Yom Kippur, it's still pending. What's erasing it? Suffering. losing money, sicknesses, headaches, migraines, problems, divorce, problems with the children, problem with the partner, IRS, jail, tickets. I don't know. There's a huge list of suffering. Dentist, surgeries, plenty of problems. That's called suffering. Suffering, by the way, doesn't have to be such terrible suffering. If you lost your key and 2 hours you were looking for it in a house, that's also suffering. If you're looking for a quarter to use the payphone and you couldn't find it and it's a freezing day, like in the days that people still used to put quarters in a payphone, that's suffering, because it's an extra 2 minutes of freezing. If you made a mistake, you took the wrong coat and you walk in the street all day in freezing, that's suffering. All this suffering, erasing these karet sins. Alright, karet means every time the Torah says the soul shall get cut out of my nation, or the soul shall cut out of Israel, that's called karet. Chilul Hashem, however, even suffering cannot erase. Only the day of the death. When a person died, that should be erased. However, there is a recommendation that I should recommend to you, is that the way to erase the Chilul Hashem is by making Kiddush Hashem. What's Kiddush Hashem? Sanctify the name of Hashem in the world. For instance, if somebody is on the way to the bank and you walked before him, don't close the door. Wait 5 seconds, let the guy walk in, he sees you with the yarmulke, thank you. He's thinking, wow, these Jews are nice people. And then in a business, you have a store, a guy gets on your nerve, don't scream, don't do bad things. Please, sir, no problem, forgive me. Okay, I'll correct it for you, I'll heat it, I reheat it for you, no problem. You have to remember you are a representative of God in this world. You are special, you're not just another person. You are my children. You understand? The king called us his sons. I'm a son of a king, I can do whatever I want. I can go with short pants in the street, like a guy in Harlem. I'm not allowed to be like him. He can do. It's not a sin for him.
It's a sin to wear shorts?
Depend where. If you go to play basketball, you're doing sport, you wear shorts. You go to swim, you wear shorts. You walk in Manhattan. It's another problem if you're allowed to even walk there. But if you walk in the street with shorts and a yarmulke, it's Chilul Hashem, yes. Because the people say, look at
yarmulke.
Yes. You walk without the yarmulke on the street is also Chilul Hashem. A Jew without a yarmulke. One Indian Jew came to Israel a week ago for the first time in his life. In India, in the place where he grew up, in a village, they are very Indian Jew. They are very primitive, very. He never watched television, internet. So he came to Israel, he interviewed him. He got the shock of his life. I can't believe it. A state full of millions of Jews and everyone is not religious? How can it be? We never knew about it. It's possible such a thing. He is religious in India. He said, I never believe I'll see so many non-religious Jews. I can't digest this.
Crazy.
That's Chilul Hashem. Of course Chilul Hashem. They got used to it. So now for them it's
So that's a Chilul Hashem?
Big Chilul Hashem. Everything that makes embarrassment to Hashem, think about it. Think Hashem is your father. Like your physical father. Everything you're going to do on the street, and you know that people may say, look at this son of Moshe. Look how he behaves. Brings embarrassment to your father. Now, when a Jew walks without the yarmulke in the street, it's embarrassing his father. But ask him to cover his head.
I thought Sephardics don't have to, though. Sephardics.
Who told you that?
I mean, I thought it wasn't required.
Oh, if you go to work.
I don't know if you're aware of it, but Shulchan Aruch was written by a Sephardic rabbi.
Okay.
His name was Rabbi Yosef Karo. Came from Spain to Israel. He was very Sephardic, more than Sephardic today.
And he said we're required to wear kippah?
It's halakha in Shulchan Aruch.
It's
You're not allowed to walk
kippah?
4 steps without yarmulke.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So only when you sit down you can take it off.
Now, sometimes you're allowed to take your yarmulke off. If you go to, for instance, if you went to a place and you realize you just accidentally went to an Arab territory, Hamas, this, that, whatever, without the yarmulke, they won't know who you are.
But
With the yarmulke, 50% chance someone will stab you to death. It's pikuach nefesh, you're allowed to take it off.
But
you're allowed to take it off.
I understand, but at work sometimes, sometimes, just say a customer comes back upset about something.
Put a nice hat. Put a hat.
No, they're gonna think it's bad. They're gonna think, yeah, a Jew sold me this product. Just
right.
what a piece of shit product.
Oh, so now we're first of all,
Yeah.
now we're
Sorry
going
about that.
now we're going back. Now we're going back to the beginning of the problem. The problem is not the yarmulke. The problem is even if you don't have a yarmulke, you're not allowed to sell garbage to the goyim.
But
to
what
cheat
if,
them.
what if you don't
Not
know?
allowed.
What if you don't know it's a garbage? Like
Give
just,
me an example.
Like I sell cars. 'cause,
Okay.
you know, that's
Cars. Okay.
And like sometimes like a customer's gonna come back with a problem. You don't know the problem's gonna be
No,
there.
no, that's not a problem. You tell the customers from now on to protect yourself in Shamayim, you are entitled to check the car. That's all. Don't have to give him report on a car. If you know for sure the engine is dead, you're not allowed to tell them it's great engine, it's great condition. Trust God, don't worry. Even if you see less dollars in the end of the day in your register, don't worry. In the long run, you lose if you cheat them. And if you say, how's the transmission? You know the transmission is dead. You're not allowed to tell them, oh, the transmission is dead. Hey, say it's great. Not to anyone, not even to a goy. But you're allowed to tell him you can to go and check. And if you say, no, I don't have time to check, then it's his responsibility. Unless if you give him warranty. But if you say no warranty, go check the car. I bought it from an auction, I don't know the condition of the car, go check. And he doesn't want to go to check, that's his responsibility. You understand? I have to understand, just because there's a sin of Chilul Hashem doesn't mean we have to be idiots. Right? If you sold him a car and he comes 7 years later and say, hey, you Jew, you sold me this car and now after 7 years the transmission died. So now because he's screaming and cursing you have to give him back his money after 7 years? Chilul Hashem, of course not. If that will be the case, then we'll be the slaves of the goyim.
Rabbi,
Realistically, you know.
you mentioned about suffering. How do you explain suffering that tzaddikim go through? You know, they never did a karet. You know, someone like
First of all,
David HaMelech. he never
first
did
of all,
karet.
tzaddikim also make sins. That's number one. Second, when we are here, we don't remember our previous lives. Some of us are here to correct our previous lives.
We all have previous
So
lives.
so you can correct now, you can suffer now for what you did 100 years ago in a different body, because it's the same soul.
They didn't go
The soul
through,
is
they didn't go
suffering.
through Gehenna?
Sometimes yes, sometimes not, depend. You have to understand, the only one who can calculate right what you deserve is Hashem. We have no way to calculate, right? If you had to be a judge of a person, let's assume God will show you now on a screen all the bad and the good that this person did in his life, everything. Would you be able to give him a mark?
No, but there's some people who do
You
very
wouldn't
little.
be able to.
But there's some people who do very little.
You know yourself.
Would you be able to say what's better for him, to go to Gehenna, to hell, or to be reincarnated? And let's say that you know that he has to be reincarnated. Would you know to which family to reincarnate him? To what city? To what atmosphere? Only God knows these things. We have no way to know it. There's billions of details in his decision. Billions of details. After reviewing all the circumstances, the only one who knows how to reincarnate a person is God. If he decides to reincarnate him in a dog, that means that's the best correction he could have got in this situation. After the sins that he made, that's what he deserves, and that's gonna be productive to
People
him.
can become animals?
Yes, of course.
Do they are they aware that they were human?
Yes, they're aware of it.
So
They
the
suffer.
dog-
They suffer very
Oh my
much
God.
because they're connected to the nefesh of the dog. You
Why
understand?
don't they just go through? What's
they
the
be
point
trees?
of reincarnation when there's Gehenna?
Why they go what?
What is the point of reincarnation when there's hell?
No, hell is different than reincarnation. You know what's the difference between it or no?
You come back, reincarnation.
Okay, why would you come back and why would be reincarnated? I'll give you an example.
Why wouldn't you just go
hell?
through hell?
It's dry clean.
Okay.
You go, God is cleaning you. What you were supposed to clean with your free choice and you fail to do so, God is doing for you, but it's very painful. You understand? So hell is cleaning all the stains from the soul. And then he enters heaven. Finished. He doesn't have to be reincarnated again. Hell is one step before heaven. Understand? Reincarnation, it's another test. You understand? You want to be a doctor, you went to the exam, you fail. So you go, you learn a little more, then you go to another test, right? They give you a second chance. Costs you more money, more aggravation, more learning, but you get another chance. Second, third chance, whatever. Every reincarnation, it's another chance. Now, how God designed the test? Based on what we need to be tested on. If in your previous life you corrected some of your problems, for instance, you used to be very proud, and towards the end of your life you recognize that it's all baloney, all this honor and fame and pride, and you became a humble person, you learned. You lost money, people cheated you, you became down to earth. You recognize that it's all from God, why should I break? Everything I have is from Him. It's not fair that I even take credit for myself. So you corrected it before you died. When you're going to be reincarnated, you're not going to be born with pride. Naturally, you'll be humbled. Because this is how you died, you understand? But if you were stingy, you will be born stingy. If you died angry, you will be born angry. Look at the kids. They're all different. One kid angry, one is very quiet. One is very sensitive, one is hard like a rock. Where do they get this? It's nature, it's ingredients. It's like making a cake. With one soul God put
Yeast.
10 pounds of sugar. The other soul He put only 2 pounds of sugar. Sugar is anger, right? Yeast is being stingy. Water is mercy. You understand? He puts the ingredients in, and this is how we are.
What happens when Mashiach comes with all these different souls?
What happened to the souls? The souls that are righteous will survive to see Mashiach.
Right.
The souls that are wicked has to be clean from the earth before Mashiach comes. They don't have the merit to see Mashiach.
No, let's say, no, this is...
And those who died, you mean?
No, Techiyat HaMeitim.
Tchiyat HaMeitim, the reincarnation, the resurrection of the dead is only for the righteous people who lived in previous generations.
So will it be the last tikkun, or will it be...
That's it. No more reborn, no more...
So, for example, you might not see
no more tests.
You might not see your grandfather.
It's different because you remember the soul was in many different bodies.
Right. So which body does it
Which
come
body comes back up?
The most righteous one. The one that gave the soul less problems.
So someone might not see their relative. Someone
Huh?
might not see their parents.
No, they don't need to see their parents.
Why?
All these connections that we have with our parents is right now. When you connect to your parents, what do you think? It's because you love your parents or because you love yourself? When a person's father died, that he cries. Why is he crying? Let's say your father is the most righteous person in the world. One day you get to 120 years and he died. After 120. You're still going to cry for him. You could be 90 and you cry for him. Why? You cry for yourself because you're going to miss him.
Right.
You understand? When you lose money, you cry. You don't cry because the money got lost. The money got burned. Why you don't cry that the money disappeared, destroyed? You don't care about the money. You care that I don't have the money. I cry for myself. When you say I love chocolate, you don't really love chocolate. You love yourself. You love the taste of the chocolate. It's for you. You lost the chocolate. You're crying for not having a chocolate for my own benefits, not for the chocolate. Who cares about the chocolate? You understand? Same thing here. We are crying when we're going to miss someone, because we cannot tolerate this pain that we're going to have in our heart, the suffering of missing that person, missing what we used to get from him: money, attention, a warm meal, good words. You understand? Mm-hmm. You got the point here? Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
So when Mashiach comes?
When Mashiach comes, you're not going to care who was your parents in previous generation. I won't be a part. So remember, all these things we're going through, it's a part of our test.
So some of us
you're
might
going
not
to be
exist.
faithful to your parents. You're going to be ungrateful to them. All these things, because we have a test, God made us like this.
Mashiach have family?
Yes, Mashiach is a regular Jew. The only difference is that he is a very righteous person, Talmid Chacham righteous, and he has to be a grandson of King David, from the family of King David. We don't know. Maybe I'm from King David, maybe you, maybe him, maybe him. Each one of us can be from the family of King David. But one thing for sure is we're not going to be the Mashiach, because we're not righteous enough. You understand? You need somebody extra righteous, someone holy, righteous, that never steals,
not
never
even
cheats.
one sin, right?
No lashon hara.
But from
Everyone makes sins, everyone. But that's why you have Yom Kippur, that's why you have Vidui, that's why you have suffering, That's why you have donation. That's why you have prayers. Donation, by the way, is one of the best way to erase the sins, especially in this generation.
If you don't say vidui though, but you in your heart, like when you're putting tefillin on, after you're done, and you just pray to God and ask Him to forgive you, does that count?
In the heart is not enough. You have to say with your words.
No, I'm saying when you talk to Hashem.
Yeah, talk
but
to
when you're doing,
you can drive the car, not even with
I know, but I'm saying
you can drive
if you're
on
not
the
saying the
traffic,
prayer,
you can speak to
but I'm
God.
saying if you're not saying vidui per se, is it still
Every
okay?
word of regret is a vidui.
Okay.
Vidui doesn't have to be in the text of the davening.
Okay, that's all.
Chazal made us a list, the most common sins that we are doing are in the alphabetic order. Hashamnu, Bagadnu, is Aleph, then Bet, then Gimel. And then they made it in the right order. The secret's in it. Of course, it's always better to read than to say by yourself. But if you're on your own, you don't have Siddur. Someone is in jail now. He doesn't have Siddur. What does he do? He can speak to God. I'm sorry, forgive me. I know you put me here because of that sins that I make. I promise you I'm going to stop. I'm so embarrassed. You just made me realize. I didn't know you're so angry that you got me such a punishment. You talk to him like you talk to your father. That's if you do it.
Do you have to go to a mikveh? I'm sorry, if you do, like, just if after you repent for your sins or not?
Depend who you ask.
Yeah.
If you ask rabbis that are going according to Kabbalah, the mikveh according to Kabbalah, it's something very high. Understand? If you are asking rabbis that are going only by the Pshat, Gemara, Halacha, say go Erev Shabbos, it's enough.
What is
Go
that?
Friday night. Friday before the
You're not allowed
Shabbat,
to
it's
immerse
good enough. If you ask people that are going according to the Ari or the Kabbalah,
They go every day?
they go every day. So I know some people go twice a day even. But
Are you serious?
yeah. I cannot tell you that that's the halacha.
Okay. Yeah.
I cannot tell you it's an obligation because it's not. It doesn't say in Shulchan Aruch you must go to mikveh. It's like keeping Shabbat. It doesn't say it. But not everything the halacha say. The halacha doesn't say not to eat poison. But you're not eating poison, right?
Yeah.
It's obvious that you don't want to eat poison, right?
But poison is going to kill you, isn't it?
Right. So not everything the halacha tells you. There are many recommended things in life that the Shulchan Aruch didn't speak about, right?
Yeah.
To, like Rambam's writes that a person has to do activity. If he wants to be healthy, even if he eats bad food, but if he's active in physical work, sports, or working and moving and schlepping and running and walking a lot, he doesn't have to worry what he eats. Fat, no fat, cholesterol, no problem. It's all get burned right away. The metabolism. Rambam said, I don't think the Shulchan Aruch brought that halacha. Shulchan Aruch didn't say make sure you do activity every week. But it's obvious that it's necessary to be done, So the same thing mikveh. Mikveh, if you have time, if you find the right time, why not to do it? It's very good. It purifies the soul. You understand? The argument between the rabbis is those who say that mikveh it's enough, you go once a week, not that they say mikveh it's not important. They just say the learning of the Torah it's more important. The half an hour you spend on a mikveh, you're better off learn half an hour Torah. That's the argument.
I see.
It's not that they come and say to the rabbis that go according to Kabbalah, mikveh it's nonsense. No, God forbid. Everyone agree mikveh is very important for the soul. The argument is if we should waste half an hour Torah every day to go to drive to the mikveh, to walk to the mikveh, depend on your situation, and wait online until you go in, out, until you get dressed. It takes about half an hour, sometimes even more. Maybe you could learn another 20 halachot in this half an hour. The question is what's
sometimes you need
better.
a break. Sometimes you need a break. If you need a break and your mind can clear up.
Rabbi, I heard that.
You're right.
Remember you told us if you ask a blind person what the color green is, they can't tell you what the color green is.
They don't have an idea.
They don't have an idea. So I feel like the same with the resurrection of the dead.
Right.
We don't have an idea of what that really means.
Right.
But we're all going to be with our loved ones. But the spirits are going to come together, and the shamas are going to come.
You're right 100%. There's really no way to know, and especially when there's many machlokot between the rabbis, Rambam, Ramban, others, Ari. There's different opinions what's going to be. For instance, there's one argument if we're going to have to eat or not when Mashiach comes. It's an argument. Some says yes, some says no. According to one opinion, you continue to eat.
I hope so.
The other opinion says, oh no, why should you eat? Eating is a part of the test. You're not tested anymore. You don't need to test. Why? It's a problem for God to make you alive without food. If God wants you, you live without food.
What's the argument of Sefet HaMeitim and the different people who are alive and are not alive? Because what you just said before.
One thing, there's no argument. The pasuk says, "Uva leTzion Goel leshave pesha beYaakov." Those who made repentance in the nation of Yaakov, which is Israel, will have the merit to see Mashiach. That's it. I know there are some people who try to make it more beautiful to the non-religious Jews to let them live in illusion. In my opinion, they're making a very big mistake, and unfortunately they're going even to get punished for this mistake, because a doctor is not allowed to lie to his patients and tell him that he doesn't have cancer. He has to tell him his real situation. He has to tell him his situation. And if the doctor doesn't tell his patients that he has cancer and then he died, that this doctor will get fired, or maybe go to jail, depend, I don't know where. So imagine the doctor come to court and say, Your Honor, believe me, I felt so bad for the guy. Look at him, 40 years old. What do you expect me to break his heart, tell him he has cancer? The judge will tell him, you're a fool. Why are you a doctor? Your job, according to the law, being a doctor, a part of it is telling bad news to people. Tell him their bad things. Go have a surgery. Go have an MRI. Spend $100,000 in a treatment. That's a part of the doctor's job. You don't want to be a doctor, don't be a doctor. If you're a doctor, you have to tell them the truth. If you're a rabbi, it's a spiritual doctor. It's a doctor for the soul. You must tell the people the situation. You have to tell them, if you're not Shomer Shabbos, you can dream about seeing Mashiach, because that's the truth. You have to tell them, if you don't put tefillin, you're violating one of the foundation of Judaism. It's one of the covenants. You have to tell them, if you don't give tzedakah, either you lose your money eventually, or you have a serious problem when you go there. You have to tell them the truth. No, I don't want to be too strict. I don't want to be too strict. And the people will hate me. They're not going to like my lectures anymore. That's not, by the way, you should know one thing. There is one thing that those rabbis or those doctors, whatever you want to call it, they don't take to consideration. And there's one thing that the Torah said. The Torah says, Birtzot Hashem darkei ish gam oivav yashlim ito. When Hashem is satisfied from your way, even your enemy will make peace with you. Your enemies will surrender to you. Let's say you have an enemy who wants to kill you. His plans to turn you into the government, to make you send you the FBI, whatever. But if you're 100%, you make tshuva every day, you're trying to be better, you're elevating yourself from day to day, Hashem is very satisfied from you. Hashem will destroy this plan. He won't be able to do anything. Not only that, he will put in his heart regret for what he wanted to do. And then he sees you on the street, how are you? Smile to you, then he comes, shake your hand. Why don't you come over? I'm sorry for what happened, please forgive. Yesterday he wanted to kill me, now he surrendered to me. Why is it? Because Hashem say, if enemy attacking you, because I approved it. Always. Nobody can hurt a person, nobody, unless if God approved it. And sometimes you hear about Jews that get arrested, they go to jail, they go in, attack them, break their bones, rape them, do all kinds of terrible things to them. Sometimes another Jew go to jail, he sit there, they don't make a beep. They look at him like an angel. They don't come close to him. Give respect from far away. Maybe they hate him, but they don't make a beep. How is it? Coincidence? No. This guy, Hashem sent him over there to get his bones broken for whatever he does. And the other one, just to make him suffer in a different suffering. And that's why the Goy attacked him and didn't attack him. Nothing is coincident. This guy lost his money. His friends making tons of money. Why? Coincidence? Of course not. Everything is connected. Remember, the more we learn, the more we get to understand. Not that we're going to ever understand even 1% of the supervision of God in the creation. If you want to watch a good lecture, tomorrow I'm going to speak at the Queens in 108th Street and 67, Bet Gavriel. It's a big building. I give it for the first time. It's the wonders in the creation and our body. Speaking about the galaxies, the Milky Way, the stars, and the stomach, the heart, the liver, the bugs, the bees, all these things in the butterfly, unbelievable things. Wow. It gives us a little idea how the world is planned in such a beautiful way. It's general education. Okay, let's see a few halachot before we finish. It says like this. The Rambam writes that there's mitzvah for every Jew to make Kiddush Hashem, to sanctify the name of Hashem. as the Torah says, "V'nikdashti betoch bnei Israel." I will become holy among the nation of Israel, in the nation of Israel. And as a warning, as we said before, not to make chilul Hashem. Rambam gives an example. If a goy is forcing a Jew to make a sin, one of the sins against the Torah, and he say, if not, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. He's not allowed to get killed. He has to make the sin. But if he tells him, kill someone else, or bow down to an idol, or have sexual sin with another woman, yeah, in that case, he has to die and not agree.
Some people say Shabbat also. Some people say that.
No. Shabbat, you have to violate Shabbat. Shabbat is not Yarek velo Yavo. Shabbat. So only those three sins, a person has to die. Not allowed to do it.
So
Tell you, kill your friend, if not, I kill you.
That's good.
Sexual
You have to
relations
say Shema Israel.
with a married woman? Or
Married woman for sure, but some say even with non-married woman. Non-married woman, she has nida. You know, nida, it's a karet. It's a serious problem. But let's say married woman, to be on the safe side, okay? With a married woman, what is it my fault, Hashem? What? I wanted to go with this married woman. Come on, well, you want me to die? Let me do it, and then I'll make tshuva for 30 years about it, every day. I know it's not that I want. She's not going to hate me for that. She knows that somebody wanted to kill me. You know, maybe some of them would even volunteer to do it, to save the life of a person. Maybe, if they're crazy a little bit. But the idea is that it's a life of a person.
But this
Torah say yes, you gotta die. But how many people have this test?
But
1 to a million.
How about if they make you
this
do it
scenario
with
has
a gay
to do,
guy?
this scenario has to do with if the woman. It has nothing to do with the woman, right? Like
What did you say?
With a gay guy.
Gay guys is what Gilui Arayot
You could die
also.
too, right?
Yeah,
Oh, thank
it's
God.
the worst thing.
No, does this have to do with the woman being willing or unwilling, or has nothing to do with
It happened to you before.
the scenario?
What do you remember?
You
James?
mentioned?
What?
The scenario you mentioned, does that have to do with the woman being willing, unwilling, or willing to partake in the?
No,
it has to do
even
with
if
you.
she's willing, even if she's not
Right,
willing,
no, it's a
you cannot do it. You have to die and not do it.
Right.
Okay, so that's it. Now, as I said, those three things are exception to the rule. You have to leave. You know, it's funny. Some people don't know. If the goy tell you to burn a synagogue, you have to do it not to die. But he tells you to go one time to sleep with another woman,
Wow.
and even if she's a married
Where's
woman,
the Torah?
that her husband already left her 10 years ago.
Oh my
But
God.
he never gave her a get. She's not married with him anymore. She's alone at home, widow. Widow, like a widow. You're not allowed. When it comes to this, or to just bow down to a stupid idol. Who cares about this idol? What, I believe in him? I don't believe in him. That's called Chilul Hashem. That everybody sees that a Jew bow down to an idol.
Any other sin is okay.
Doesn't matter what goes in your heart.
He tells you rip, burn Torah, you do it?
Yes,
Any other sin is okay. Then.
yes. Your life comes before.
What is the sexual
Your
relations
life.
fall under? The
Gilui Arayot.
is Chilul Hashem.
So any other sin is okay. Any other sin.
Any other sin.
what
If
is
the
it?
Gemara said there's only 3 exceptions,
Right.
we have to assume there's only 3 exceptions. The Gemara didn't bring other exceptions.
Right.
You understand? Okay, now, here is another halacha for you to get an idea what we're talking here about. A person that fall in love with a woman and is about to die if this woman won't sleep with him. You hear this? And the doctor say he has no cure until he's gonna go and have relation with this woman. No cure. It's crazy. That's why he cannot function anymore. He's dying.
Okay.
His heart is broken. Yamut ve'al tiba'eh lo. Let him die, and she's not allowed to let him touch her. Okay? We're talking single girl, not married girl. Yeah, married girl for sure. אפילו הייתה פנויה, even if she's not married. You understand? What happens if she wants to marry him? No problem, she can marry him. If she wants to marry him, she can marry him. It's no problem. Then he's allowed. But let's say she doesn't want to marry him, just to save him, not to die. Let him die is not allowed. Then he wants to talk to her only. No, he wants her to walk near him, just to walk, but he will enjoy her body, not to touch. Not to touch, just to look at her. He should die, and she won't walk in front of him. Then he will stand on one side of the wall, she will stand on the other side of the wall, without seeing each other, like what we say today, telephone call. You don't see her, you just hear her. Let him die, and she won't talk to him on the phone, or she will speak to him beyond.
Why? What's wrong with that?
It's filthy thoughts. Filthy
How about if
thoughts.
you kiss a girl?
הרהורי עבירה קשים מהעבירה. Whoa.
Is that bad? If you
Whoa.
kiss a girl?
If to talk to her is not allowed. To
Wow.
kiss her
What do
is
you
allowed.
mean? If you can't talk to her, why would you be able to kiss her?
What makes a person make the sin faster?
She's mute.
Talking to a girl or kissing
But
her?
what if you knew 100% you're not gonna spill your seeds?
אין כזה דבר.
It still doesn't make a
impossible.
difference?
How's that about?
You know why? Because biologically it causes a certain reaction.
I have news for you.
It's impossible?
I have news for you. Just when a person begin to look at a non-modest girl, he already spills seeds without even realizing. A microscopic drop, it's already
that
coming
still
up.
counts?
That's already come.
Oh my god.
In this dot, you have thousands of souls. You understand? That's why the Torah said to watch the eyes. Why it's so strict?
It's so hard these days.
Yes.
Well, what if you're sterile? What
I
if
know.
you can't protect
That's why that's gonna be the highest reward for that.
Just take your glasses off when you're walking in the streets.
I tell you a story. You remember?
I know some guy. I heard
One
this-
time
I heard this so many times.
I met a guy in Queens Boulevard in a restaurant, Israeli guy that came to tour America, non-religious. I started to talk to him a few times in the restaurant. I convinced him to give a chance to come to the yeshiva in Monsey. I took him to Monsey. He was a special soul, this guy. A few months later, he has peot, beer. Then one day I walk on the street, on the way to the yeshiva, walking to the yeshiva a few blocks. I see somebody's walking towards me. I see it's him. So I say, Oren, how you doing? He was like, who is this? 5 steps from me. He doesn't see anything without his glasses. I say, it's Mizrachi. Oh! Come, kiss my hand, how are you? I said, well, why are you walking without your glasses? I say, maybe there's girls on the street, I don't want to see. Tzaddik. Tzaddik.
That's a good trick.
Yeah. Sometimes if you need glasses, that's the solution. You take them off.
There you go.
You see everything blurry. You don't see. Okay.
Rabbi, I have a question. What if you're sterile? What if you can't make seed? What if you're sterile since birth?
That's a good point. If you did not, it's a point. If a person didn't waste seed, he doesn't have that sin.
Or he's gonna get a reward.
But he's still getting his animal soul.
You won't get a reward?
But a person gets punished for the bad thoughts that he has. The Torah says not to see, not to have bad thoughts, and not to touch. This is all levels of sins. So even if he's, like you say, sterile, he cannot have a seed, he's still not allowed to look, because he's thinking dirty thoughts. If it's his wife, he's allowed to look. From his wife, he's allowed to think about his wife. That's permitted. Other women, not allowed. You understand? Even when a person go on a date with a girl for the first time because he want to marry her, so he's trying, he's allowed to look at her once just to see if she's beautiful enough for him, and that's it, not to stare at her like this. That's it. The rest is, not to focus too much. I already saw. I like her beauty. Now we can move on. I'm beginning to talk to her, ask her, asking questions. You understand? All right, now I'll give you another example. Let's say a person is sick, and the only way to get cure is to eat worms, all kinds of bugs.
Eat them.
He's very sick, and he needs to eat all these things. Or he has to eat chametz and Pesach, or he has to eat on Yom Kippur. You understand? All these things. What do you think the halacha is?
Eat it.
Huh?
Eat it.
No, don't eat it.
Eat it. Eat it.
Eat as much as you can.
Food? Yeah, you do eat it.
Obviously.
So the answer is it's pikuach nefesh. Pikuach nefesh. If you have pikuach nefesh, your life is in a risk. You're allowed to eat everything, even a pig.
Oh,
You're allowed
the
to
Holocaust
eat
or
worms, everything. Yeah, you're allowed. But I give you an example. Let's say someone is diabetic, and he cannot fast. He can't. He needs every 2 hours to eat something. It doesn't mean he cannot make himself steak with French fries and sit and Yom Kippur and say Baruch Atah Hashem she'akol nהיה b'dvaro. So what he has to eat less than half a pita bread, less than half at the time. If he eats a little bit, just not to starve. He eats a little bit and he wait. Then he eats a little bit, one bite and he wait and a while. You eat You understand that he doesn't need Birkat Hamazon.
So he's constantly just eating a little bit.
In other words,
It's a little bit just to survive. Also to drink very little, not to be sick. Not to celebrate now, Coca-Cola, whiskey. No. You have to eat as less as possible, just because it's a life risk, you understand?
I if someone is very sick on Yom Kippur, they do eat like bread, they have to say like Yalav Yavo, right?
Very good.
Oh, they don't say Birkat Hamazon.
They have to say it.
But not Birkat Hamazon because they're having less than a certain amount.
They're not supposed to. But let's say they have to eat five kazait. They have to eat a lot. The doctor said, no, it's not enough one bite. You have to eat a lot and fast. Meat, a lot of meat. Or a liver. Sometimes you have to eat a lot of liver if you're anemic or whatever. I don't know. I'm not such an expert in those things. But in general, the idea is that you have to do the as much as you can, not to enjoy. Okay, let's finish here now.